Yo, it's real guys, real talk. Let's go.
All right, welcome to Real Guys, Real Talk. Today we're gonna go over what the No Kings movement is and why it doesn't matter. All right, stay tuned. All right, so let's get into what this is. And it's pretty simple to explain, or it's kind of simple to explain. Okay, maybe it's a little complex. So what No Kings is, it's a movement against, kind of basically against Trump and anyone they feel is a supporter of Trump internationally, the big leaders, right? They're equating him to a king. And two of the big gripes that I saw was the ICE raids on immigration, which we'll go into in a second, and the National Guard. So let's get into that over here. So why are the National Guard there? Okay, so maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I used to be in the Army and the National Guard. And one of the things that they train for, among catastrophes happening and helping with that, is civil unrest. And they can be federalized to go overseas and help, but a lot of their duties are going to be in the state or other states that need them per the governor's request. And so when you have unrest, or in this case, what Trump's sending people for, and these soldiers, is because there's some crime, a lot of crime. You've got it in Chicago, you've got them out in DC. Supposedly that's helped, and it's kind of a show of force. I'm not sure that they're really doing much. Now at the border, I guarantee you they are, but that's been happening for some while. So what's the real gripe here? I think they're saying at least that they don't like how he's militarizing our cities. And I could see that approach, but if you have a handle on your cities and there's not a lot of crime, or at least crime that can be attended to, then I would say you wouldn't need them. But that's on the governors who are complaining about their state being occupied and the mayors about their cities being occupied. So that's their gripe, and that's kind of my response to that. So let's go into the ICE part. We'll do that over here, maybe back on the bench. All right, so what's the deal with ICE, right? What's the gripe? What's the complaint? Well, I think the left is just pretty much saying it's kind of Gestapo style, where they're just, ICE is coming out and with no probable cause or reasonable suspicion, stopping what they think to be citizens or people who are here legally and detaining them unlawfully. And what I see the real case is, they're actually stopping people with probable cause, with warrants, who have criminal histories, but who are here illegally in some fame or fashion. One of the main reasons that they're here is that they cross the border illegally. But one of the other things that we're dealing with is there's criminals who have some sort of right to be here, are not citizens, and they've either overstayed their visa, so they violated that. And this has been an ongoing thing where you get deported for these things. But the main thing too is these dangerous criminals, people who have committed murders and these other things I can't say on YouTube, right? But you know what I mean. And they're going out and attacking, getting them, right? And apprehending them. And then of course there's going to be people who are with them that associate, that are helping them, that are committing crimes and or are just here illegally. And they're taking them away too. And I don't really think I can understand that fully. I don't have a gripe against it. I think as long as you're doing it lawfully, if you're here illegally, my family is here through immigration, right? My direct family, in particular my wife, right? So we did the process. It was difficult. And I don't understand how that's even a complaint. And it sucks that people are being torn from their families and established lives here. But it was on a false pretense, and you're using our resources. So that's what their complaints are. Now, I'm going to take you to the whiteboard and show you why this isn't really a big deal, because it kind of sounds like it, but I think it's the squeaky wheel effect. All right, check this out. All right, so let's put this in perspective. There are 7 million people who, and we believe that's a high number, but who came out against Trump during this No Kings thing this weekend, okay? There are 341 million people in the United States. So that leaves only 2% who didn't like Trump, or at least were a part of this movement. Another perspective, right? 77.3 million people voted for Trump, actually went out there and voted. That's astronomically more. I mean, literally 10 times more. And then don't even get started on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, on the day of his official memorial that they held in Arizona, the vigils that were held were anywhere from 9 to 11 million people attended these around the United States on that single day alone. So really, this whole No Kings movement is kind of a sad story. So there's a common phrase that perspective is everything. That's kind of wild to me, because sometimes it feels like it's not. You get some information from someone else's perspective or from your perspective. But when you actually look at it from an above approach versus a finite small approach, perspective is everything. If you look on the internet right now, you would think that this No Kings movement is taking over America, to include kind of like the trans thing that happened a few years ago. It's like every third person was. And in reality, it's a 1%, in this case 2%, who are willing to actually go out and protest. And that's kind of a high number from what I understood. So that no, America's not falling, no, people don't truly hate Trump. The thing is, and I don't agree with the narrative either, that these are people who hate America. I just think they're confused and bored. There's not big enough things happening in America to be occupied. And so you got to find something to complain about. That's where the whole perspective thing really does come into play. It's kind of like looking at me from this perspective when really you could be looking at it from a much higher. So what's my takeaway from this? I think it's kind of simple, right? It just doesn't really matter. I don't think it's a movement. You're not moving anything. You're not moving me. You're not moving most people who even voted against him. So I think what this really is a classic case of I didn't get what I want. It's not fair and it can't be right. Well, just because we don't get what we want all the time doesn't mean that the reason for that is wrong. It just means enough people disagreed with us. And that's democracy. Kind of seems like something that we fought the other country that we are really close to for. Yeah, and then founded our own country because of that. Anyway, the whole idea is it's duly elected. And when you kind of gripe and complain about this stuff and make really small things big, it makes your big things seem kind of small. The whole cried wolf deal. So that's my perspective on things. Yeah, I understand it's a little biased, but of course, I'm coming from the opposite side of this, which, based on the statistics, 98% of Americans will be. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just a lot of squeaky wheel gets the grease stuff. We'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. And also thank you to today's sponsor, which is Kingdom and Will. I buy their stuff, I buy it using our code. We'll put that at the bottom for you. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Let us know what you think. Comments section, we will respond to anything we see. Most of the time. Only if we agree with it. All right, bye.